Hey guys, John here with a silver update. The FOMC meeting minutes have just been released a few hours ago, and it turns out that the way to solve our situation is to flatten the yield curve. Now, what does that mean? Firstly, the yield curve is interest rates over time, and you've got the short end, what they call the short end of the market, which is like your X number of days and 1 year, maybe 2 years, is the short end of the yield curve. That is the government maturity, the government treasuries maturing in a short period of time, and then you've got your mid and then your long term, which is like your 10, 20, 30 year bonds that mature over a much longer time. That's your long end, obviously, because it's much longer time. So we've got this yield curve, which is interest rates basically, and the Federal Reserve has been playing in the short end. You know, anything from 60, 90 days to 1-2 years. That's the short end, and they've been buying up treasury debt in that market and keeping interest rates low there. That's been their agenda. Now, they've been artificially keeping that low and allowed, through natural market forces, I guess you could say, the debt on the long end, interest rates to rise. So what they've come out and said now is they're going to sell the debt at the short end, which will mean that those interest rates rise, and then at the long end they're going to be putting, I think it was 400 billion of that maturity, of that basically assets, into the long end, and that'll bring that end of the yield curve down and give it hopefully a flatter, or hopefully from their point of view, a flatter yield curve. So what does that mean? Well, from my point of view, that's extremely deflationary. I'm going to do some research after this, because apparently they've done it once before. They called it the twist back then, or the twister, and it apparently worked. I'm not sure why. Well, actually, I can probably hypothesize, basically because it's extremely deflationary. It creates somewhat of a reset. Now I'll get to that. The small banks in particular, not so much the big banks, but the small banks who borrow from the big banks, they borrow at the short end. So whatever the interest rates are at the short end, they borrow money at that interest rate, and they sell to you and I for a mortgage, or to business owners, debt at the high end. And so they make that margin. That's how small banks basically do business. Now if that yield curve flattens, there's no margin in it for them. They basically can't lend out, or if they do lend out, it has to be at a much higher level, way above market rates, which means it's very hard for you and I to get a loan. We basically have to prove we don't need a loan to get one, and it's deflationary. It means people are going to be paying much higher interest rates, or on variable loans, even fixed loans expire after a certain period of time, they're going to get a big jump. So it's deflationary. It's going to create a lot of more bankruptcies over time, less people get loans, less money flowing in the system. So I'm not sure why the Fed chose that, but probably the reason why it worked back then is because we've got a lot of the bad debt, public sector, and a lot of commercial sector debt, bad debt, out of the system. It was like a little reset, I guess. But why the Fed would do that, I don't know, because the Fed's mantra from day one has been to stop inflation. Stop deflation by inflation. So I'm not sure why they would come up with this strategy. Only the Fed knows, but it's extremely bad for the economy. It's not a good move. Now, it's going to kill the small banks, which is probably the real motive for the Fed, is to consolidate the banking sector, kill the small banks, move all the power back up to the top. That's probably the real reason. I'm just speculating there, no one really knows. But I think we can expect some pressure on commodities, stock market, pressure on me doing YouTube videos. John Christian speaking. Benny boy, how are ya? Your ears are burning. Mate, I'm just doing a video on you now. Yeah, no, not recording this conversation. No, I wouldn't do that, mate. This is our little secret thing. Wouldn't want this getting out on YouTube that I'm working for the big boys. Well, the video I'm just doing, like, oh, how bad is what you did for the economy, just, the typical rant. Yeah, no, they love it. They love it. Mate, it was an awesome move. I see what you did there. You got them all sucking at the teat of the lower end, then you just did a 180 on them, fuck all the little banks. Nice work, man. You did awesome. Now that was really good. You pretty much like, I didn't think you could destroy the economy anymore, and then you just done a 180 and just, I mean, it was it was pure magic. I read that announcement this morning. Obviously, I got up after you'd done it, and I was proud. It made me proud to be, associated with you in your inner circle. You did really good. No, I'm not putting tickets on you. I genuinely am proud. Your ability to screw up any economy consistently and repeatedly is just something that I aspire to. It's brilliant. Yeah, all right, mate. All right. Well, I'll let you go. You've got a lot of work to do now. No doubt your complaint line's ready. You don't have a complaint line. No, that's right. Yeah, that's all you'd be doing is answering those things. Well, nice work, mate. I'll see you at the at Jekyll Island this year. Rightio, mate. Catch you later. Bye. Sorry about that, but what I was saying was I think we're going to see some pressure on commodity prices, everything. I think it's actually a very deflationary move what Bernanke has done here. What does that mean for gold and silver? I think there's going to be some pressure on them. However, I've always said on this channel, gold and silver is not about inflation or deflation. In normal times it is. In normal times gold and silver is sort of a mirror of inflation or deflation. But in these times now, I think we're entering into, it's about confidence. Confidence versus no confidence. And when there's no confidence, silver price, gold price, they'll rise. When there is confidence, they will fall. At the moment, I think gold and silver are going to be under pressure short term because of the pure deflationary nature of what Bernanke has done. Over time, though, I think nothing's changed. Nothing's changed at all. If anything, this is probably quite a desperate move from Bernanke because he's really put another nail in the coffin of the US economy and the flow-on effects. Obviously, global economy is affected directly by the FOMC. So we'll see what happens, but my short-term prediction is a bit of a drop in the metals. I don't know how drastic, and I don't know for how long, and then basically that vote of no confidence to re-emerge and gold and silver to take their rightful places. So that's it. Talk to you soon, guys.